Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Everything here is airsoft, including this thing, which looks like a real gun, but it's not. It's a toy. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing today is actually installing two little upgrade parts to this, which is the FNX-45. This is, I think, built technically by VFC. It's the like cyber gun kind of version. If you haven't seen the video before where I've kind of done some stuff to this, this is a version that is from... this is a version that I got from Evike, which is actually Cerakoted prior to me getting it. I got it for a slightly increased price, but it was very kind of, it was depreciated. It was reduced in price from what it normally would be. And it's this kind of very cool OD green kind of color, which I really like. This pistol in the hand is one of the most comfortable things for sure. It's a big pistol. I've got this Hawkway red dot on it, which actually I think suits it really well. If you want to have a look, it's kind of there. If I'm putting it in my own face, there's the red dot there. Really big window. I just really like the feel of it. The actual, I've had some issues, I think, with the actual RMR plate that I bought to put on here from VFC. So I actually found one that is from Dark Duke. So this is the Dark Duke FNX-45 RMR plate. So I'm going to try and switch that over. This I bought from Action Airsoft. That, I think the cost of that one was maybe $17. Let's have a little look. The cost of that was $17.79. And then I actually also got this, which is an increased recoil rod, which is a recoil spring set with steel spring guide, which was $19.41. So some quite cheap upgrades, but this is Dark Duke. I've never bought parts from them before or bought their parts from another retailer. So I'm quite excited to see what they're like, but we're going to take this thing apart to start with. You may want the close-up video, actually. I've just realized. So give you some of this. Give you a little bit of the old close-up. That's what you like. Oh, we can get it going. There we go. Pull this up a bit. And there we go. I'm going to put it the right way. Okay, so here is the FNX-45. I really, really love this pistol. It's just a great little gun. Haven't actually played with it. Trigger I don't love. I'd say it's very long trigger pull. When it's actually cocked, it's not too bad, but you've got that take up there before then it breaks, and it's a little bit mushy. See what I mean? It's just like a long take up, and then like it's a very kind of on the cusp piece. Okay, so taking this down, I need to remember how to do this because I can't even remember how I did it last time. But I think I'm just going to push this piece in and rotate this around. I don't remember how far back I actually had to have it. Oh, it's going to be there, isn't it, where the actual piece is. So that's going to come forward, I hope. Did I have issues getting this one apart before? No, it was the SMP one that I had issues with. Okay, so this will be very, very easy to do. In fact, let's take this off to start with. I'm going to use my Mr. Tono that everyone loves. Everyone loves asking me questions about it. We'll take this Hawkeye off here. You know what I actually should do first is test the recoil, because we're going to do an increase in recoil spring. So you guys are probably going to want to know what the difference is in terms of recoil. I think I did have issues with this one, you know. I'm trying to remember what it was like, but I'm trying to get this thing back on now. There we go. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Recoil-wise then on this, let's give it a little fire. Just make sure there's nothing in there. We're all good, okay? And this is what the recoil is like. I'll give you, there you go. So let me just make sure we got enough gas in here. One sec, I'm just going to pause it. I'm going to put some hard firing gas in here. Here's a 150 PSI gas from Swiss Arms. Fill this guy up. There we go. There's no silicon in this, which is why I like it. But if we are doing the recoil, it is a... So it's quite like a hollow sound, to be honest. It's not like the loudest thing. It's got a nice kick to it. It's not crazy. It's not the snappiest thing, but it is a big boy. Okay, so let's get this guy over here. Do a little flickaroo. Try and get this thing off without breaking it. There we go, slid it off. And now we'll take this part off, which is going to be the actual red dot. I like this Hawkway a lot. It's definitely an optic that I'd never used before. Okay, so you can see the issue there is I've actually started to strip this top piece. It's actually got some kind of like glue here. I think that is actually the, what do you call it? That is the thread lock that I put in there, and it was so light on there that it's just not even kind of bit it at all. So this was, I think, the issue that I had with the RMR plate. I literally got it, and I'd been waiting for this order for a while, and I was like, why did I order the RMR plate? I can't even remember why. And this may be the reason. Because I think those screws were just sitting there and stripping. Let's just take that out. Yeah, so you can see here, the screws were going through and hitting that part of the plate. Let's get this dark Duke one out, and we'll do a little comparison and see how it looks. Okay, so it feels a lot lighter. You can see here, very, very similar design. It feels a lot lighter, just kind of like in the hand. But apart from that, most of the dimensions look very similar. So it should just kind of slide in. Sorry, wrong way. It should slide in here like that. And then we are going to try and re-secure this in with those smaller screws. And get this guy. Oh, all right, go with this one first then. We'll re-secure this in with those smaller screws. Get that in. Let me just make sure these fit, because I think these could be too big, which would be the issue. Okay, no, so those fit. It just feels to me like they are, I need some like shallower screws. They're too long in terms of like where they are. So let's get this guy in. I will go back and thread lock this just because obviously it's on a recoiling part of the gun. So it is going to be moving around, but that is securing in there nicely. And we don't want to damage the actual nozzle housing here. Okay, so this guy's got to go back on here. And what I'm going to do is I'll feel out. It should be all right, actually. Kind of looks like that is the right section. If I'm putting that in there. Problem is literally these have, it's such a large or long attachment for this red dot that it almost feels like it's like a single or 2 or 3 turns and then that's it and you're in, which doesn't feel right, to be honest. I mean, that is very, very secure. So what I might do in the future or just after this video is I might see if I could just got some screws that are going to fit in that, be a little bit better in terms of size. But the main upgrade that we're going to do is this. So all I'm going to do is basically pull this recoil rod out with this spring, and we'll take this Hawkway one. This is a relatively cheap upgrade for $20, and you can see already here the difference in the spring like thickness. The one on the left here, the shinier one, is the Hawkway, sorry, Dark Duke. Hawkway is the name of the site, and you can see like just the thickness of the spring is more. It's got more resistance there if I'm pushing against it than the one which is the FNX does here. I had some issues, I think, just with, what was it, lock back occasionally on this. So I'm hoping that this may sort it out. May make it worse because actually it's going to be more force to get that going back. But we'll work that out as we test this. This is the other thing that I think I stretched out a bit, was the spring here, which I needed to unhook. Actually, it looks like that's already unhooking, which it shouldn't be, I don't think. And if you can see there, it's almost like it's kind of come down and loose. There we go. Okay, I pulled it back into place there. So that should be better. Then what we're going to do is take this piece. We're going to put this in here first. Take this piece and we're going to drop it in. And that went in there very, very easily. Solid part. It's in there nicely. And then we're going to reassemble. So I'm just going to put this back here. I'm going to push this through without stretching it out. I'm going to return this guy around, and then that is back together. And already that just feels a lot more kind of realistic, I want to say, just in terms of like the force it takes for that. It does feel better. So that's the stock one right there. They actually gave us some, you know what? They gave us some screws for the sight, and I might just see if one of these fits better. The larger screws are going to be the ones I think that we need. I might just try out these screws on here and just see if they're a better fit. They look to be almost identical, to be honest with you. So if I just put that in there, yeah, it's going to be pretty much identical. I think what I did is I over tightened it and I screwed the threads on it. I just kind of pulled the threads out. So if I've just used newer screws, I'm going to tighten but not over tighten. Okay, so that's good. And then that's on there solidly. That's going nice. Okay, so let's test out the recoil on this bad boy now. And oh, it feels snappier. It definitely feels like it's kind of a bit more. I definitely like it more, for sure. Let's see if it gets hold back. Okay, no, we're not getting actual hold back. So that is going to be an issue that we've discovered with this, is it feels probably like it's got too much force there to actually get the slide to come the entire way back to there. What I need to do actually then is just test if this fires. I'm going to fill this up and then I'm going to see if it's firing and see if we've got enough power coming through and it's cycling, because that could be an issue. It won't pick up the BBs. One sec. Okay, so I filled that up there with BBs. Let's just fill this here, because if not, if the power's too much there, it means I'm going to have to go and do the old... Yeah, it seems okay. I'm going to have to do go back to the original spring. That's what we're going to have to do. Okay, so I've got my stopper here. This hopefully will work, but we will see. Okay, so that was the issue I've just realized that I had. I was getting that double stack feed. And that's why I kind of was like, oh, if I have a stronger spring, it's not going to do that, which now I'm thinking actually that's probably the opposite of what it's going to do. Okay, now look, I've got a hold back jam. Again, jamming. It's not fully cycling to take the BB. Again, same thing. Okay, so let's test this. And it seems like, you know what? I think that actually might be to do. This nozzle is just not. It could be to do with this and that we've kind of put it on again in a way that's preventing that nozzle from freely moving. Okay, again, that's worked, but I've got that jam. Same problem. So let's see if I go back to the other spring. This is sad because I really like this pistol. So if it is going to be like this, then it's going to be like, I'm going to have to work it out. May have to go change the nozzle on it. I may have to. So my only thinking is like, if I'm pushing those screws and that nozzle too far down, then it's kind of like affecting how it's moving. The other thing though as well is that little spring that I have there is that kind of, you know, preventing, this should be held up further. See, that's it is moving, but there is some grit there. It should be fine though. It's enough movement there that it's not, doesn't feel like it should be an issue. I'm going to put this guy back in here. No, I'm not. I'm going to switch it back to the other one. Where is the other spring? Okay, we're going back to the old spring. We'll see if this fixes this issue. It's so bad that I've got so many replicas I forgot what the issue is that I had with this. Okay, so we'll whack that back on. We'll put this on here. We'll rotate this back into that position. And now we'll try it. And if I can put the magazine in it. There you go, that was weird. That magazine release. Because it's an ambidextrous, if you look here. You can release it from both sides, which is a cool design, but it was almost stuck there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so that's good. I'm getting the same issue. So it isn't an issue, I don't think, with the actual spring that I put in there. It's going to be an issue with the nozzle and the slide and how it's moving. So, yeah. Although now it's working, and now it's stopped again. And now it's stopped again. And now we're not getting the lock back. So one sec, hold on. Sorry, my kid's right there. So yeah, guys, I don't know how to diagnose this. So what I really need is your help. I need you to tell me what is happening here where that's getting held up. Do I need to change out the spring, sorry, the nozzle itself, or something in that trigger housing or in the slide? Because it's getting caught up somehow. And the nozzle felt like there was a little bit of grit in it, but it was working fine and moving fine. I think it could be that little spring between the barrel and the actual hop unit there is maybe just a little bit loose. It's the only thing I can think. So if you guys could give me your ideas down in the comments below, I'd really appreciate it. I think this this actual $20 part is kind of cool because it definitely gave me more recoil. Obviously this as well, it's an RMR plate and that seemed to work well. It seems like it's very similar to the VFC one, but for 20 bucks again, I'm pretty happy with it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was kind of interesting, but obviously didn't really help that much because we didn't really achieve what we were trying to achieve. But have a great day wherever you are. I've had a lot of these fail videos recently. I don't really know what's going on. It's like, oh, let's try and make this work, and it hasn't ended up working. So have a great day, guys. I'll see you all very soon, and yeah, see you then. Bye-bye.